Hey, so this is the day that Fable was rug pulled by the US government. But I'm like, I'm sad, but at least in the last few days, I was able to use that model a lot and crank out a ton of features for Sitebase. And let me share them with you. I'm going to start with, well, let's start from the home page because um, I listed every benefit that Sidebase provides in this box, but not everything that I've added here is gonna be in the final version of Sidebase, in the first version of Sidebase, because um, basically, since Fable was so great at working on stuff, it was like a senior skilled engineer compared to like some model that you need to handhold and always follow like everything it's doing. Fable was fantastic, and I hope it comes back, but I'm not sure. Um, Also because I'm not a US citizen, you know. So here we have like a subscription comparison because I've added a ton of stuff that is provided by those other platforms, for example, Mixpanel, Typeform, um, testimonial tools, etc., etc. And then I did basically a calculator for the amount of money you save every month by using my tool instead of those. And yeah, so we can go and see what features I'm talking about. Let's see. So by default, when you create a website, you're gonna have like this little multi-page model. So for example, I'm gonna use bootcamp.dev, and I can enable a few features. I have a few features by default, which are analytics and event tracking, but uh, I, s- I don't know. Maybe we can add analytics and waiting list like this, and newsletter sign up. And finally, you can choose the stack of the website because depending on how your site is built, for example, if it's based on Notion, if it's your own website, we're gonna have different setup instructions. But I think we can skip this, and we can basically put this on every individual widget. But I don't know. It's just I, I, I still don't know. So now you can see that we have analytics, we have the waiting list, and newsletter sign up. By default, you start with the setup screen. So you see the form here and you see this snippet. But I already talked about this before. I think, oh, one thing I did is spam protection with turnstile is now a global setting. So once you enable this, it's available on every form. And let's talk about the features you can enable because we have a ton here, and I want to talk about them. So first thing I did add was cookie consent banner and legal pages, privacy and legal pages. So those two features, I still don't know. They could be useful. Like the cookie banner could be useful, um, but I don't know because why when like by I was adding a ton of stuff to the features list now. I'm experimenting. I'm throwing stuff at the wall, and I'm seeing that there are a ton of features that require forms and collection of data. And I think that's what I'm gonna focus on at first. Data collection, like analytics, events, and stuff like this, is gonna be very important. But then we have forms, which is another data collection feature. So cookie consent basically was about creating GDPR proof banners with geo-targeting as well. If you are based in Europe, or if you don't need cookies, cookie consent. But I don't know. I need to think about what this tool is about, because I was thinking like, what are common things that every website needs, and so especially because some of the features that we add, they are gonna need cookies. So I thought maybe we can just add cookie banners if those are not present yet. So this could be actually something we can do. And since I already use AI to do some stuff with uh, automatically generating the theme of the widgets based on your website, I thought we could also use AI to scan your website and generate a privacy policy, terms, and cookie policy. And we host the pages here. So you just have to add a link, or we add a widget with the links. Those could be features, but I don't know if they will be like in the initial phase. Uh, Custom events is a very, very cool feature. You can enable this feature and then it appears here. And also funnels. So basically I wanna add mixed panel style event tracking. So you can track events, and you can track them using JavaScript on your own site, or even HTML when someone clicks a link. Or you can also send them through your website with an HTTP API. And funnels is going to be basically, we track analytics, we track page views. So we can see, for example, we can define a tunnel so that you basically visit one page, you visit another page, and then there is some event like sign up. So that's a funnel, and we show all the data. This is interesting, although I don't want this to be the main part of the tool, because other tools do this, um, focus on this part. But still, I think this is going to be useful because those provide data. Now, other features I was thinking about was lead magnets. So, we have a form, and with you enter your email, and you can get a file, a download, for example, an ebook or something like that. It's very common for marketing purposes. So we can host your file on R2 here in Cloudflare, and we deliver it by email, or we show it in the site after you fill the form. That's very, very interesting. Here you can see a sample form. And so this is about forms. So there is a form, you enter your email, and then this email is going to be part of a list. This is the key part of this site, and I still have to add proper list management, but this will be a central part. So we have forms, lists, and data, which will be linked to your users as well. So back to features. I was working on newsletter sign up. This is going to be central. So we can have an inline form or a pop-up form that can open basically when on exit intent, for example, or when you scroll down for a certain amount of the page. For example, you're scrolling a blog post and you see the pop-up. And then, of course, I added broadcasts, but this is not going to be the final place where broadcasts are shown, because I will have a completely separate interface for this. But those are now sent through resend, because resend has broadcasts, and so it requires you to have your own resend key, because um, sending emails is its own very complicated thing. So I don't want to do that now. But maybe in the future I can also support other providers, and maybe we can also do maybe up to a certain amount of emails or subscribers. We can do that in-house. Let's see where this takes me. Another feature I added was countdown timers. So this is like something I've needed firsthand many times, because I always create courses that you can sign up only on specific dates. So, for example, um, signups start on Monday, and I add a countdown. And when signups are open, I say signups will close in 3 days, and then we have a countdown timer. It's kind of cool, and the I don't know if this will be part of the MVP, because it's not a form. It's just a website feature. But I was thinking, like, this is Sitebase is a tool for providing a ton of common stuff that every website needs. Um, this could be interesting. It's not that hard to implement, so but I don't need to like, I can see feature creep already um, knocking on my door, but this will not be in the first release. So, and speaking of forms, we of course allow you to create custom forms, multiple custom forms, and we can have multi-step forms, and you can basically do anything, including adding, any kind of field or file uploads as well. It's very interesting. So you can see the form is already being dynamically updated here on the right. Okay, it's very nice. But this is not the final stage, of course. This almost everything of this was one-shotted by um, Fable, almost, because I did a ton of direction, of course, of overview, and it's not. Of course, this is not the final stage. It's just the beginning, because I have to change everything about how this works. But it's a start. It's a start. It's already incredible that in just a few days I was able to build all of this. So let's go back to other features. We have. I did add a status page. Where are we? Status page. There is some bug here. Basically, I want to status page is we have a cron job. Basically, we have a cron job that pings the website every 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever, through Cloudflare. And if the response of the website is not 200, uh, if there is a problem on the website, we say there is an incident. We can email you optionally, and we can show hosted status page. So this is a very common need. So this is not related to forms, but it's related to data, and I think it's going to be useful, and maybe even something that some very interesting feature. Let me see, what did I add? Careers is interesting, because we can you can enter some job openings here, and then you have the open roles in a page. And remember that we can create pages here. We can create pages on the website. So you just redirect to the jobs page, which is hosted here, and you can use a CNAME URL to point to the page, which will use your subdomain, or you can embed the script, which will just um, we just embed the information on your website. And so people can apply to a job directly here, and the data will be stored in our website. So we will have applicants here um, with their email, maybe their curriculum, whatever. Very cool. So what do we have? Also, there's a ton of stuff. I don't remember if I already talked about. Oh, I think I talked about everything. Oh, social proof is basically every time something happens here in the events, we can show a little pop-up that says someone just subscribed to the newsletter, someone just joined the waiting list, or someone purchased the product, for example. We can have event sources, and events are events that we manage here. It's very, very cool. So everything is connected. That's fantastic. That's it. Let me see. Testimonials. I already talked about this. Yeah. As you can see, I'm organizing a little bit this sidebar, but it's all still a mess because I still have to figure out how everything fits. Um, so this is subject to change, of course. So so this was all related to features, and I don't want to be too focused on features actually, because I need to be focusing more on the core problem that this application is solving, and the features here are just a way to experiment. In the past, we could have like mocked those features using mockups or simple drawing on the whiteboard and figuring out everything, but with AI, it was super easy to just implement the stuff, and then we can see what fits, what doesn't fit, what smells of feature creep. And before, even before the alpha stage of this this thing, I will cut everything relentlessly. Like nothing will survive unless it's a perfect fit and also exceptionally well done. So let me talk a little bit about architecture, because through like I was thinking, this admin interface is the Astro website. It's based on Astro, and I'm running this on a worker on Cloudflare. And I was thinking like, oh, we need to have the API, of course, on a separate worker because it's gonna be hit a billion times. But then I asked AI, and basically the suggestion was to add Hono, and Hono basically responds before Astro is loaded if it's an API request. So until uh, until this does not um, work anymore due to scale issues, uh, this will be the architecture, because having two workers is going to be a problem, because I will have to maintain. Basically, the problem is that we have durable objects that are connected to the Kiwi store for knowing which D1 database each user is connected to, each workspace, each website. And if we have two workers, we have to maintain two different durable objects and two different, basically, indexes of the websites to D1 database connection, as I discussed in the architecture video. So it requires basically keeping everything in sync. So if something goes out of sync, there is a little issue, and maybe we can do that. I think I need to. I think I need to take care of this, but yeah, the API is gonna be separate from Astro, even though Astro can manage API routes. Uh, it's also loading a ton of stuff that doesn't really matter on an API call, of course. And that's it. So I also have many little things that I have been adding to the site, but they are just small things that, I improve the onboarding, I improve the region selection for the D1 database, because you know that you don't know this, but if you have watched my last video, the D1 database, that I will have a D1 database for every single workspace. So every person can decide where the D1 database lives. So if it's in the US, it can be in San Francisco, it can be in Europe, it can be in Japan, whatever. Near the users, of course, that's the best place. And that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's it for this video. I think it's already a ton of stuff, and I can discuss the small things later in other videos when I will, on days where I will be focusing on a specific issue for hours to make it perfect. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I'm super happy because we reached 470 subscribers in a couple days after I mentioned this new channel to my newsletter. Thank you so much for subscribing if you are a subscriber. And like the video and comment, as they say, it always helps. Uh, See you.